Hi, today is May 27th, 2017, and we are here in my house in Italy, and it's been a long day, and it's been really tiring for some of you, not for me though, and it's been a total torment to be on Earth in the past few days, as I was telling you, and I'm sorry, but I didn't have time to do it. I was about to release a new video or to go live on my channel, and I was about to go live on my channel and um, absolutely tell you the secrets of the universe and the way they're changed now. But because they have changed, it means that automatically you have changed too. And as you have changed, Lucifer has changed, and God has changed, and we all have changed while keeping our soul, especially Lucifer, and while keeping our things, and especially our essence. That's our essential way to duplicate ourselves spiritually and emotionally. So it's been a long day for us, and it's been something that we like to do, something that we enjoy doing, knowing the future. As witches, we like to know what will happen in the future, and I'm going to call upon the fairies today to be with you. It'll be a good day to play some sports. Some of you will watch this video from Hawaii, so I wish to say hello to my friends, and I've met him in past lives, so I dignify myself with the title of friend, or as they say in Arabic, Sadiq, because not because they're sadist, but because well, that could be also, but I wish that it could be more for the thing that friends are better found than lost. Sorry, just readjusting myself on my sofa. So, and by the way, I can't even cross my legs because I'm pulling out cards. So, well, let's pull out a card for today. And it says, just like Madonna's hit song from the 80s, Holiday. It's a holiday. So, I'm happy you see the card right. It's about 7 o'clock in Italy, and it's about time we say hello to our Hawaiian friends who are watching us live from some island in the Pacific Ocean, in the Hawaiian archipelagos, and that is Doreen Virtue, and possibly from California, Louise Hay and Riley Valentine. We're using the magical messages from the fairies oracle cards. In guidebook comes with it, but I don't use it because I know what these cards mean, even if I don't study them, because we are allowed by divine law to use magic, just like King Solomon did, and just like Moses did, and just like the witches that were burned in front of the Vatican did, and the ones that were conjured in the hell were the priests who forgot the first Moses law that was murder. So if let me repeat myself once more, because I've seen today a video by Bob Larson that actually is one of my favorite exorcists nowadays, but in this old video, although his soulmate in this lifetime is male, and he certainly is still celibate and certainly is a virgin in all ways tangible, but definitely and not maybe, but definitely you have to be accustomed to the energies of yoga in order to understand that what's it called, homosexuality, and I am also homosexual, is not well, I wish it was, but it's not because you had sex with a demon that you get it. It's not a disease biologically, and it's not a disease mentally. So actually, it's not something that is meant to be a disease, considered to be a disease on the spiritual plane by divine law. So everyone who's ever, except Bob Larson and Gabriel Amorzzo, because he's dead. Whoever has performed these acts of exorcism towards some kind of so-called homosexual demon. And by the way, I wouldn't know who that is because I've studied demonology, and there's no such thing as an homosexual demon. There's demons who can bind someone to you sexually or spiritually, or dominating the mind of, or a love spell between people. But you can do that with an angel, or you can do that with fairies, you can do that with unicorns, or you can do that in case of lust with Lilith, that was the first woman ever created by God. And because of renouncing her, not her womanhood, but entirely, but because she renounced the Garden of Eden, she got to be Satan's favorite wife, with all the subsequent powers of being Queen of Hell. So going back to my original point, if you contact an angel to make someone fall in love with you, they will say yes to either a request that, I'm sorry, it's windy, to either someone who, they will say yes to either someone who, sorry, but Rome, perhaps as being the capital of sin in terms of homosexuality among the priesthood, it was getting windy, so I thought I was closing up the window for them so nobody sees us when we talk about them. It's a wonderful idea to be connected to our God today, and to reach Godhead in terms of reach awareness, and to reach the permission of being free from bondage, in terms of mental slavery or spiritual fatigue, not in terms of sexual pleasure, God forbid, but it's an idea to be free from all these things called sin, because they, in a way or another, represent the other half of us. That's Satan's, while the good part of us is God's. So, except for rare prayers to the Holy Guardian Angel, there hasn't been really any kind of speech given by the church regarding the fact that gay marriage is now legal, and the whole world is deciding to accept it. You know, there's my window closing again. Let me go wash my hands real quick. So I'm back. Sorry, it's dark. But it's a confession that I have to make. So this year, while you take a holiday, why don't you, as Catholic clergy, take a holiday into the idea that perhaps Jesus will try if he can, and if it's divine law, and if I'm allowed to say. If not, I'll just stop. If God can stop me now from saying this, uh, could could some priests actually perceive the idea of being brought on a holiday, just like today's oracle card, because it's God telling them to do so, and because God tells them to do so, then absolutely they are bound to His will. Just kind of like God is conjuring the demons of the pit, the demons of homosexuality, perhaps, to do this, carry out this task for Him that He doesn't have time to do because, well, he's got, Satan forbid, but he's got a penis, but he would know how to use it because he would definitely fuck like a god. But if not like God himself, he'd make you feel. He would definitely unblock your chakras. But again, Lilith forbid. That is not his style. Uh, mm, Perhaps. So, although God is celibate and Mary is a virgin, and so you are too, in the sense of you are pure when you love, it means what it means to be a virgin. Although Mary was also illibate physically, meaning not ever taking cock, like not ever performing any act of sexuality with a male, so to speak. And that's my turn on my light. For all the nuns listening, I'm just turning on the light, not turning on anything else. So, right, and it has to be clear that today we become who we are in terms of beauty, and we become who we are in terms of um, being amazed with who we are, and it's not a surprise that today um, we can be more than ourselves. We can be more than what we thought we were going to be. We can be in love. Today is a day when, any wish can come true, just like if you were on a magical holiday. Any wish can come true and anything can happen. So relax, take it easy, and be prepared to enter the realms of pleasure and be ready to enter the idea of perversion in terms of ideas being brought up to you that they resound in the universe like basically a good fuck. So it's ideal for vaginal penetration today. So whoever's got a vagina and try to put it out there so that with the help of the gods, um, calling on Mother Mary, you can perform some type of orgasm that might take place with greater facility of thought today. And because the gods are helping you in becoming someone better, God Himself is definitely overrated, and definitely going back to what happened these days, definitely thought to be infallible, which He is. But there's deeper things that you have to know besides the Bible and or Doreen Virtue and or Louise Hay and or even Radley Valentine. So there's things more profound that you might want to discover besides New Age, and especially good news for you today, there's things more profound to discover besides what Sodomitic priests have discovered so far, which is the actual Word of God that sometimes spoke through a child like Jesus, but actually there are certain ways to do certain things. So I'm not saying that the Vatican is somehow controlled by the so-called Illuminati. I don't believe in the existence of the Illuminati. I don't think the Illuminati ever existed. But if they did, I would respect them and absolutely obey whichever power they thought to represent or they actually represented. So apologies to you if you exist, but I don't believe in you. So because the Vatican, in truth, is a holy space that cannot, by divine law, be entered by the devil except in one occasion historically. So if, say, it's a sin, there can be an inspiration. So someone sees the image of the devil and behaves accordingly, but the physical, spiritual devil isn't there. But it's not like you can summon a demon when you're inside the Vatican because he won't show up. Actually, you might not even get a sense of this act being possible because it's sort of like being in Jerusalem where the same thing happens unless you are given by God the divine power to do so. That is, if you are a rabbi, if you are a Catholic or Protestant, a priest or pastor. And third, if you were a descendant of Christ. Now, can that be? No, the third one is a fake. So in the third case, it could be that if you were one of the sons, meaning children of Mary Magdalene, who is a real Catholic saint, then you are given the power to perform black magic in terms of Ahriman, so Ahrimanic sorcery, that is, in order to invert these energies of prostitution in the Calvary somehow, and give them a higher plane of existence and a higher perspective. So it has to be clear that today is a day for recollecting your ideas. It is a day to become someone new. It's a day to have sex, especially for straight couples. I don't really make a difference between straight and homosexual, but again, there's differences after all on the material plane, but there's no differences on the spiritual plane except in terms of energy for whoever has the energy to or will or desire even to contact God. And yes, you can't ask it for a spell because what's it called? The priesthood, or what was it called? The priesthood never ever could summon someone in terms of ceremonial magic, although the Catholic Mass definitely is a ritual, but called so by the church. So I would definitely, as a priest, would not, in an exorcism prayer, I would not expel any demon of ritual or any crap like that that's only meant to make you sick. And it's only meant to pervert the way that you think, and it's only meant to rearrange the ideas that you had into something different. So if today is one of those days that you feel like you have to become someone, then try to resist it and try to be yourself rather than become someone else. or even become yourself, it's something that it's pretty outdated, because I don't see how you could become something that you are already. That is because the priesthood has prayed these so-called exorcistic prayers that have the effect to undo every ritual that's revelation that's being done. I'm the only person that has the copyright on this video, so whoever copies it basically dies spiritually too as a result of a curse. Right, so every time a priest says an exorcistic prayer, say to repel, let's say, Archangel Michael, because through a Luciferian exorcism you could just like that get him away from you. But it's not only that in whichever form he comes, but it's not only that Archangel Michael is got those 12 stars around her crown, but that's Mary. And it's not only that you have the power to send God away if you are in a blood pact with Satan, because you renounced him, so he only has to go away. But it really has to be known, and it has to be applied, and it has to be said that I might have been a pope in a past life. Certainly not, but possibility. And I might have been, actually I was a priest in my past lifetime before this current incarnation. And by the way, any nun or any priest could have been, and a lot of them were prostitutes in past lives, or they will be in future lives. Like, definitely is the case of myself. I might have escorted sometimes in this life, requesting even small amounts of money. But it doesn't matter, because in my past life I was a devout follower of the gospel of Jesus, in terms of not the way that the priest gives it to you today, but the way that I didn't have sex. So, and also when I was a Taoist monk, I never had sex either, but it's different because God does not conjure these angels that the nuns know how to call by now only subconsciously to preserve the chastity. So it's all these spirits are being called by the church today, and it's no goddamn news that magic is being performed by the church during all these centuries that the church has been around. And because what they do in church, it can be considered, and it is an act of magic, just like holy water is magic, just like the Holy Mass is a ritual, just like the ritual of exorcism itself is a ritual. So I'm taking it that not from you, Bob Larson, but I'm taking it that because I'm not taking any type of bullshit, including from someone who was contaminated spiritually by demons of lust during the interview with Nicholas Schreck and Sina LaBey, and yet that's funny. Including someone who didn't know that the angel said to him not to go to Ukraine, because if he had followed New Age theories, he wouldn't have had a heart attack by now. And it's because he never knew how to pray, being a priest, that he almost died, and certainly he would have died in God's grace. So let's realize that he's the best exorcist alive in the church today. What I mean by church, I mean Christianity, and because it's one thing. So Satan operates on a divide and conquer basis, kind of like the Romans did, and with equal results. So, but greater, because not only he's been given the keys of this world where you walk through, but he's also pondered decisions to make himself on a special day more holy than God himself factually, and he's made things that having been given since birth 100 times the powers of any other angel or archangels, including the seraphim, and everything is being proportioned because God knows numbers. And it's true that when you were converting into something that you thought you were going to be converted into. Now, my mom told me I was going to the last day in terms not of my last day. Perhaps I wish I heard, but I'm not sure. She told me that I she never knew that I was doing this full time, and she said that my videos are either boring or funny or ridiculous, and that I am as a person something like that, implying that. But you know what? Having cursed her to death, I don't really see a problem with what she said, because even if I hadn't, God would have killed her in the same way that Moses killed physically, without touching them, the people of Egypt, by opening up what they call energy portal for the energies and bodies of these rabbis, these dirty Jews, to come to go through the. And yes, I was part of Hitler Youth in a past life. And they to go and build the temple for Jesus that got destroyed in Jerusalem, and they but he taught us black magic for one thing, because he's killed all these Egyptians that were masters of murder in terms of death curses and stuff. And yes, it's books that you can buy, and yes, it's legal, except in England. So I would prefer that people in England wouldn't, well, unless they want to be like what they call it, Jack the Ripper. Unless people feel guided, in quotes, to kill someone physically, and then it's something that I recommend, to curse someone to death over the physical killing. I'm sure that's more acceptable by the human law. That's not divine law. And by the way, to all the people who apply the Sharia, that's Muslim law, and they think they really, really are so cool, or even too cool for school, or take it up the ass better than God does, when they apply what they call Muslim law, when they kill homosexuals, they have to remember that the homicide is by divine law a much greater sin, so they will be all put to death. And all priests, because they, through exorcism, thought that it would exorcise magic, they've exorcised all the magic, that, except for me and those that I want, put together. And Doreen Virtue's husband was the King of France, right? And they put together all of these things called holy masses. So except for what concerns me and my partner that is also gay, being myself gay, and his name is Andy. And may you know that he is a voodoo initiate, and that I'm a powerful magician of all colors. So I can do anything, and I can post anything on any topic magically. So not only angels, but also demons. Not only voodoo, but also hoodoo. Not only what's it called, necromancy, but also cartomancy, and so on and so forth. So because I was the leading witch in Salem, I can tell you that I personally cursed to death the priests that were coming to get us. I was dead already, but the people who followed my word, they thought of conjuring Lucifer for me, say, and Lucifer, taking possession of these bodies of these black witches, went forth and killed all these priests. And then people wrote legends about the priests being heroes because they killed innocent people whose magic is with us. So God right now is transferring all this holy energy of the holy masses and converting it to the type of energy that we desire. So I'll take Lucifer, someone else will take fairies, Andy will take gnomes or whatever, Archangel Cassiel even, and then we'll all understand what these changes are going through, and we'll all understand what these things are, and we'll all understand that Bob Larson is a faggot, but the same person that committed sin will be forgiven by the Father, although the Father Almighty is taking away all the energy of the holy masses that were recited in between Fox at the oratory, if not oratory, and they all these energies will be given to us witches, and they have exercised those rituals, forbidding magic. They're forbidden their own magic, so they gotta start over again. I hope that they will include magic as a possible word of the dictionary, including the Oxford Dictionary and whatnot. So, my beloved, I will meditate with the energies of perhaps, no, but it could be one of the apostles of Jesus. I'll let you find out who that is. I'm sure it's not Saint Jude, because Jude was Jesus' cousin, who's not Judas, that Lady Gaga is in love with, but Jude is someone that you pray for desperate causes. So if anyone is in urgent need, like Saint Expedite, or again Saint Rita from Cascia, that's a city close to where I was born, Cascia. Oh, by the way, if anyone would like to pray, not Satan for this thing, but the gods or spirits of the Catholic religion, especially for the city of Norcia in Umbria, where the Saint Rita, not her though, because she would suffer greatly too much for this, but one of the churches that she perhaps contributed to put up or something like that collapsed during an earthquake last summer in Italy. So if you could please pray for that, and for earthquakes in all of our country, including the Vatican, so that tomorrow there's not going to be another earthquake in Rome. And please, so as many people as possible should watch this video, because if not, I'm afraid that because God rejected Satan from heaven, then the Vatican could really collapse physically into hell, energetically, unless something that God did against me when I was a Satanist is removed now. So God will tell you that He's perfect, but if He were, the angels wouldn't have fallen, and He's the first one to have lost love, and He's the one who's lost His only begotten Son Jesus when He died, and that He's the one who's lost everything that He had today in the world, because this really happened, and He's realizing the weight of it right now for Himself too. And He's realizing that there's no magic without the magic of Azazel. And there's no magic without Pope Leo XIII, number of change. And there's no magic without Leonardo da Vinci. There's no magic without Copernicus and Nietzsche. And especially there is no magic without the philosopher who devised the idea of cogito, not coito, but cogito ergo sum. So not like in Rome, in the Vatican, coito ergo sum would be I fuck therefore I am, which is kind of true. I fuck therefore someone else can be, but in truth his essence was and is much deeper and will always be. So and he's my soulmate. So cogito ergo sum, it means I think therefore I am. And I wonder how much of this philosopher that you can research on your own, cogito ergo sum, cogito, one word, ergo, second, sum, sum, sono, Italian, soy, en español, I think therefore I am. Entonces, para todos los hispánicos que nos miran desde México a Australia, pasando por California y Tenerife, le voy a decir que las mujeres que se interesan de magia negra y de magia blanca y sobre todo buscan la figura esotérica de Lilith como predominancia virginal sobre la figura tan esotéricamente parecida de la Virgen Blanca, pueden aprender todos esos secretos que yo sé y que yo soy, escribiéndome, writing to me at esotericservices.america@gmail.com. If you don't know how to spell it, I give zero fucks. Okay, you just write it down. And I think it's going to be below my video anyway. So underneath your clothes, Shakira sang, there's an endless story. So it's not only what Jesus is, but what Jesus can do. And Jesus can purify Rome today from all negative energies, including my home when I will leave. So, and he knows how to do it. So, right. So we're just starting our jihad, not meaning that someone is going to explode, but because that isn't the point of Islam. Jihad against we haven't started our jihad against the church yet, but we will soon, as witches and warlocks, because we got fucking tired, and homosexuals, etc., of being put in the ghetto by the church, just like the Nazis did in Tiananmen Square or whatever that was that they had the regime, and they only the people who knew practiced what they didn't know, and that's prophecy that Jesus said that it would happen to his people, and it's happened to the Jewish people, and it will not happen to the Islamic people because they were S-bombers from the beginning, and they've retained that peculiarity. So Sodom and Gomorrah, if that law applies, then let it matter. Paris greatest church, New York greatest church, Prague greatest church or second greatest. Let it destroy. If this law of God, someone Christian repeat after me, if the law of God that God destroys physically all things that were contaminated in the church in this lifetime after 1980 by and until 1995, like that, by the cultural sin of whatever, S-bombery or homosexuality or anal perversion, be it Bob Larson, Zena LaVey, or I was friend with her in a past life, because it was Nicholas Shrek that I had sex with in a past life when I was a witch and I was dedicated to Satan, although I was a woman. But my soul certainly remembers, and I greatly forgive myself for having had sex with other people in other lives, or else I wouldn't be who I am today. But I'll pass on that, so I'll forgive for what I can. So, if sex is a sin, perversion is a crime, and if perversion is a crime, the law applies, and if Sharia is by law, let the law be applied, like Sodom and Gomorrah, except in the Vatican. If you think that gay people need to be killed, let these people who think that right now be killed today, except in Italy, the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Russia. And not in Lithuania, and not in Sweden, especially not in Copenhagen. So there will be, I'm not doing any of this. I see that God will apply his law more strictly on those people that I define ignorant and racist. So going back to our meditation, we're going to meditate with Santa Muerte, or perhaps another saint today, or perhaps one of the apostles, or perhaps Satan. I'm not going to give you any more coordinates. I want you to find out what spirit this is. Today I would like to talk to you about the mysteries of Christ, the Spirit says, and I want to tell you why Christ died, and especially I want to release you from the sin that we called original sin, but it's actually not that precisely. It's something else that we will discuss tomorrow when I will go live to talk about the mysteries of the new millennium. So please join my group Angel and Fairy Magic. I have other ones too: Spiritual Satanism, Magia Esoterismo, Angel and Fairy Magic. Again, what is it? Esocismo, Cinematografia dell'Orte, and there's gonna be more. There's gonna be one about Jesus that's going to be called Jesus the Savior of All, or something like that. So it's going to be a wonderful, great idea to summon all of these spirits today, and I want you to close your eyes. It's just gonna last 10 seconds, and I want you to breathe in the corrupted stop, sorry, mistake. I want you to breathe out all the corrupted ideas that the world has, and to breathe in the healing energy of Jesus that's in me too, that's healing us from all negative thoughts and negative ideas about the church, negative thoughts, negative ideas about the so-called morality, and negative thoughts, negative ideas about the so-called corruption of the church, because none of this is true. So I like to reawaken you to the truth that God really is, reawakening you to his son, Jesus Christ, and the meaning of his true teachings, which is something quite different from taking it up the ass during a live show that you host. It depends. It depends on which demon you were trying to cast out, but it takes a real exorcist to cast out a demon, and no real exorcist is ever from the Catholic Church. All exorcists have the legal right to exorcise when they are psychics, and when they are, and that's the privilege that the church gives. Please go to these people, because these people are e quindi, and so it all seems very relaxing. This is the healing energy of Jesus that's somehow in us, and in truth what he's doing is that he's liberating us from death physically as a possibility. So he's reactivating our immortality as a possibility. He's healing our bodies, souls, and minds for those who wish to be healed. And he's telling us that he loves us in his own special way. And I'll say more about these tomorrow. Perhaps he's also adding some of his old speeches to our Napster collection. I wish to say goodbye to you, and I want to send you much love and a aloha, blessing, whatever. And I don't have any pets to show you, but I'm certainly not a pet myself. And lots of light and love from the Church of Lucifer Roman Version today. And please say it with me: Hail Satan.